I have some disturbing stats I want to share with you about fatherless homes. And by the way, some of the stats, you may be, I've seen this before. I'm going to tell you, when you read some of these stats, you're going to sit there and say, that is insane. By the way, these stats are from 2021 of the impact a father makes in a child upbringing, both a girl and a boy. Like I said, disturbing, but you will be shell-shocked with the stats. The US has the highest rate of children living in a single-parent household of any nation in the world. About 80% of single-parent homes are led by single mothers, at a rate of 23% of children living with one parent and no other adult. The United States stands over 3 times the world average of 7% of children raised by one parent. For reference, the number stands at 3% in China, 4% in India. This is not an area we want to be competing with other countries, by the way.
Today, I'm going to talk to you about fatherlessness in America. About 2 years ago, I created this YouTube channel, and it was part of my goals in 2020. And the goal of creating a YouTube channel was to create content and share my journey of being a co-parent to my 2 loving children. The truth is, I actually have 3 children, and part of creating All Things Dad BK is to talk about my relationships with my kids and talk about the challenges that I faced as a co-parent, going through a separation. When you search for tips and tricks on co-parenting, a lot of the content that's being created is by mothers, or more often than not, the custodial parents who are the caregivers of the children. You rarely get the perspective of the non-custodial parent, the challenges that they face, the negativity that they have to endure, and the things they have to overcome to fight to be in their kid's life. Now, I'm telling you this because everyone's story or everyone's challenge is different. And some people have the worst of it, where, they have to deal with parent alienation and they don't even get a chance to see their kids. The aim of my channel, which I have to admit I stepped away from, is shining a light on the challenges that a non-custodial parent may have when it comes to trying to be in their kids' lives. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a father, it could be a mother. Because my belief is that in order for a kid to really be successful and have the best opportunity of having a really good foundation, their dad and their mom both have to be in their lives. Who is helping parents navigate this challenge? Specifically non-custodial parents, because we deal with a lot too. All these influencers and people talking about this epidemic of fatherless homes, but I haven't seen anyone talk about a solution to this problem. I don't see anyone providing resources to help the non-custodial parent to be involved in their kids' lives. Approximately 18.4 million children in the US live without a biological father, stepfather, or adoptive father present in the home. You may hear that 22% of children in the US are raised by a single parent. Approximately 41% of children are born to unwed mothers. For women under 30, the unwed birth rate has increased to 53%. As a non-custodial parent and someone who's been navigating this co-parenting journey for almost 15 years, there are 3 things that I learned in the process of making sure I was involved in my kid's life. You see, for me, my parents separated when I was 6, and I was raised by my grandmother until I was 12. After that, I moved back with my mom, and I had to navigate going through puberty, going through maturity, adolescence, without a role model, my dad. Now, my dad always called me and checked in on me, but that's not the same thing as being involved in your kid's life. So learning from that experience, one of the things that I also make sure that I do is, even though I don't live with my children, I make time to see them. For me, that's seeing them every morning when I bring them to school. That's one way. My oldest daughter, who's going to be 16 this year, I always make time to go see her where she goes to school, because she actually goes to school away. And whenever she's here in New York, I set a date. We go somewhere special, and that's our time to be alone. That's another part of being a father and making sure you have that relationship with your children, making time to be with them one-on-one. Another part of also being a co-parent and being someone who's involved in their kids' lives is making sure that you provide for them by any means necessary, whether it be through child support, whether it be through caretaking, whether it be addressing issues that are at school. Dads are protectors, and you always have to make sure that if your kid is being challenged, your kid is in an environment where they're not getting the best care, you need to challenge that. So if we can somehow get dads involved, we can support these children, we can protect our children, that would be the best way to aid this epidemic of fatherlessness in New York. Thank you for listening. I'm going to make more content like this with the hopes of it inspiring, sharing, and getting more parents involved in their kids' lives, especially fathers, because we play a huge role whether you believe it or not. Peace.